there's still Jimmy Garoppolo that looms over everything that we talk about with Baker Mayfield and the Browns, because there's another guy who's actually got Super Bowl experience and last year took a team damn near to it, sitting out there. And the subtext of the conversation there is something I brought up to Steve Young when he called in earlier this week, Mike Florio, about Trey Lance not being ready, and the rumors and the conjecture that the Niners just can't bring themselves to finally rip that Band-Aid off of Garoppolo and go to Lance. What are you hearing about that scenario in San Francisco as we're sitting here
I've
in May?
consistently heard concern that they're not convinced Lance is ready. And how do you know he's ready until he's your guy week in and week out? They haven't seen enough from him to make him think he's ready. They didn't see enough from him last year to be confident about thrusting him into the fray when they clearly would have done it if he had shown he was the best option. And from Garoppolo's perspective, the worst-case scenario would be they show up for camp, they compete, Lance emerges as the starter. Lance steps up. Lance is ready to go. And then they go to Jimmy Garoppolo after the preseason, and they say, hey, Jimmy, Lance is number one. You're number two. We can't pay number two $25 million, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to pay you $10 million to be the backup. And maybe we'll put some incentives in there, playing time, whatever, so you can earn some of it back if you end up playing more, if he gets injured or whatever. But you're the backup. You got to accept this deal, and if not, you're going to get cut. He's got no guarantees until he's on the roster for week one. And what do you do then? All the spots are taken. All the depth charts are filled. I think that's why Garoppolo, even more than Mayfield, because Mayfield at least has a guaranteed salary for this year at 18.8. Garoppolo's 25 is not guaranteed. Now, he's got a lingering injury guarantee of $7.5 million, but once he passes a physical, that goes away. After that, he's got no guarantee. So the sooner he can get out of there and land somewhere else, the better off he's going to be, because he could end up, she stands alone, right after Labor Day weekend with no home, no salary, no anything, if the 49ers keep him around long enough to come to the conclusion that Lance is ready.
Did you say cheese stands alone, Mike?
Isn't that a line, the cheese stands alone?
That's the Farmer in the Dell. You went Farmer in the Dell on me right there, I think. Okay, I just want to make sure.
You want Humpty Dumpty, so we're even.
That's right.
Hey, we had a long talk yesterday about Romper Room. I don't know if you remember Romper Room. I had forgotten about Romper Room.
Of course.
But I used to love at the end when they pull up that magic mirror and they start rattling off the names. And if they said your name, like, because you were the only one in the world with that name when you were 4 years old, that makes your week when you heard your name at the end of it.
I love it. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.